Okay, today we have my Chinese elms. I'm going to just do a little work on them, so I thought I'd do a video on them. Even though I showed them to you in the update video a little while back. Um, but this is the cascading one. It's doing pretty good. It's just growing out up here. I have to look at it here. I'm trying to decide if I want to. Yeah, I think I want to remove these now. Let me get my scissors and clip a couple little leaves that are keeping me from a little sprout in the leaves. Sprouting in the crotch of the branch. Yes, I think if I let that grow, these grow anymore, this one's almost as tall as that one. This one's what, 3/4, 2/3, 3/4, something like that. And it was only to get this leaf off. I don't know if we can see it from the back better. I'll zoom you in if we can see it any better in the back. Not really. But anyways, it was just to thicken the base of this up, and I think it's done. They've done a great job, and if they leave them on any longer, I'll have a big bulge there that will look out of place with this. So let me get my concave cutters out. Take both of them off. So this I'm going to still continue to grow because I'd like to fatten this trunk up more. I'm thinking I'm going to try to cut off some of the leaves down low and see if I can get some branching out lower, just to help. I don't want it thickened. I don't want it thickening up right there, but the end could still need some more thickening up. So prune these leaves off, and luck, they will push out some stuff, and then that'll also just get some growth on the bottom. Yeah, let's try to get some branches growing in the bottom here started, because we could use some more thickening at the bottom opposed to the base. I mean, letting this grow, it'll do it too, but I could use a branch or two down there to help. Next, we are going to work on the cascading part. I'm going to get you in closer for that. Okay, as you can see, we got more growth. I'm trying to decide if the wire is digging in yet. No, I don't see any signs of it. No, I think it could stay on a little longer. I'll keep an eye on it probably in a week or maybe another couple weeks. There'll be time to clip it off, but for right now, we're going to leave the wire on. And we are just going to work on cutting some of this stuff back for ramification. It's about time you can do this. Just some of these longer ones, just to balance everything out a little bit. I'm not going after a real good trim back. Like I said, I'm just doing it to to balance the growth out on the tree a little bit. I'm just going to bring these back. This will have to be wired. This still has, this end of this branch is funny, but it's still, oh gosh, I got wire on here, but then you wrapped around here, so maybe that will work. There we go. Get that wire down. Bring that back to there. We got something growing out here, which I would like to keep. It's growing off of this branch, which I might try to bend a little more. It's coming off in a good spot, so I will give it some length to start a branch. This branch, there's a branch on the inside here I'm going to take off because it's kind of in the way, and now we have that other branch. Okay. This stuff I will leave because it's not really long yet. Could use some more thicker than that. Sprout going out the top over there. Another one here. Going straight up. This is kind of growing up straight, but I might wire it. I might get rid of it. I'm not sure yet, but we'll leave it for now. These eventually need to be wired down. So the end of this branch needs to be twisted. These need to be wired down eventually. They're too small right now. I'll leave this stuff quick. Put that back to there. Leave this. Pull along a little bit. That pointing. Oh, I have trouble on them sometimes. So branch pointing that up, a leaf pointing that way, and then this one we will directional prune this. And that's about all I'm going to do. As I said, I'm leaving the top, and this I just wanted to balance out a little bit. So we'll get the thread grafted one next. Okay, here's the thread grafted elm. This is, I'm continuing to grow out, to thicken up. These are the ones that are going to get cut off if these thread grafts succeed. So I'm just going to cut them all back. To take any bigger they got in them out. And we don't want, that's not part of this branch. We don't need this growing because most likely it'll be going. So, I mean, I'm still cutting to the direction I'd like if I'm keeping them. So, it's not like we're totally ignoring them, but we're keeping them and we're cutting them accordingly if we were going to keep them. These, again, are just going to be left to grow. Help thicken both these branches out as quick as possible. The quicker they thicken up, the quicker they fuse, and the quicker we get new branches. Don't cut off a lot of the needles back here, and I don't see anything sprouting, so that's good. We don't need anything sprouting in the back. this finally started growing. This little branch that I want to replace this branch that's just it's just here in the back, which when this is the front will be positioned more forward than this branch, so it'll make a better side branch than this one currently. So what we're going to do is, again, clip the bigger out of this one, because we don't want it growing, and just let this grow. This is growing good. And now we're going to tackle the top, which again I'm going to take the vigor out of the top because I don't need the top growing at this moment. I would rather the tree put vigor in this bottom branch and these red grafts. So I'm just going to directional prune these. I think I want this branch kind of growing from underneath. And I think that fits to the top. Oh, there's this little one here. I'm going to take. Like I said, just want to take this vigor out of the top, so more of the energy is focused to where I want it at this moment. We can worry about the top once we got this stuff going better. Because if we let the top grow, it'll thicken up, and then it'll be as thick, or maybe thicker than these, and then we'll have to chop the top off and start over anyway. So this way I might not have to start the top over. I just won't. It'll just be developing, but slower than the rest. And by doing this, we'll at least get some more ramification, if not growth. We don't need more growth, but we could use more ramification. I'm going to take off some of these inner leaves. We don't need the leaves. So there's that. Okay, here's my newest Chinese elm. I picked this up when I went out last month to New Jersey. I showed it in the update video, and I explained a little bit about it. Like I said, it was just a kind of a sucker that grew kind of, it didn't grow like off like this close. It was off of like the roots. It came up off the root, low off the root, and up off the side. And then evidently the other tree, the main tree, died, and they were selling this, which I think was a good tree. And I knew there was the thing that I would have to remove it from the other tree. And as I said, I removed it early and planted it in this just to take the chance, because I figured it wouldn't. I've had experience with this stuff. A lot of times it will continue to feed more off the main roots than build its own roots. So I figured if it had root, I dug it up, I took it out of its pot, cleaned it up, and found that it had some roots. I could cut it off and just work from it from there. And as I said in the video, it was putting out stuff. Since then, those buds have, some of them have grown out. If you can see, there's one here, some here. There's one here that's pushed out, and then there's still some buds either just pushing out or getting ready to push out. So, to me, that's a good sign that the tree is healthy and it should survive what I've done to it. As long as it can it can grow a decent root structure for it. I mean, I bring this in like the other ones, so I'm not worried about wintering it over. It's going to be in the house. So I'm going to try something different this year. Instead of keeping them in with my regular trees, I have a window in my house. It's a big bay window in a bedroom that we don't use. But the window stays, I mean, it's not going to be real cold. It's got windows, it's got storm windows in it. It's not going to be real cold. It's not going to be freezing in there, but it should be maybe cold enough that maybe I can get these to at least slow down growing and go into some kind of dormancy. I don't know if I could get them to go into a full dormancy, but we'll see. We'll see what I can do with them, but they might work better there than just letting them grow and grow and grow. Because the other two just grew like crazy last winter. They just kept growing. They were quite happy to keep growing. And they should really at least be slowed down a little bit, I think, to allow them to get some rest. But I think it's got a nice structure for a. I want this to be my Chinese maple that's more natural looking, less of a bonsai style form to it. You know, other bonsais don't particularly look necessarily like a natural tree, but they tend to look more like a structured and more idealized natural tree. And I want this to look more like an actual wild tree. The bottom branches need to be, if I'm keeping any of these bottom branches, some of them, they need to be thickened up. But I may just, I don't know, I may keep one of them down here or something. No, I'm not going to keep all these lower branches, but I think these two branches are good. This top, I may try, because it's still got some flexibility to it here. I may try wiring this over just, I don't know, wiring it some to give it a little more movement at the top. Maybe back. Seeing these are both sideways, maybe I'll lean this one back a little bit. And then I could use this to kind of come forward. I don't know, I'm going to let this grow for this year. I clipped it back a little bit I figured it was getting cut off from the root system. I would just cut back the major branches just to lighten its load a little bit. And right now nothing fell off, and it's putting out new growth, so I think it's through the woods for initial. Now it just has to develop a root system. I'm going to keep it in the shade for a little longer. I'm not going to put it out in the sun yet. Maybe give it a few more weeks. I think it's probably had 2 weeks now in this pot, so maybe 3-4 weeks, maybe a month or so. And then we might transfer it to the back steps first. Well, we will transfer it to the back steps, seeing it's been in the shade. This will be transferred to the back steps and put out there for a while, and then put out for the end of the summer. So those are the Chinese elms. If you liked, If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you next time.